Ever been to a great party and somehow you found yourself in the kitchen having an amazing conversation? Happens to me all the time. What if we could capture those moments or have more of them? So I called a couple of my friends to help me cook up some conversations in the kitchen. Welcome to Kitchen Talk. Hi guys, welcome to Kitchen Talk.
Back in the building.
Back in the kitchen.
What's up?
I know, great conversation.
Yes.
So,
I know,
JC,
he's starting it off. As soon as he walked in the building.
I mean, we gotta talk about it.
Yes. That,
We
hey,
gotta
auntie.
talk about
Hey,
it.
auntie.
Okay, was that not the best line? That was the best
auntie.
line.
It was a good line. I don't know if it was the best line.
Yeah, it
Okay.
There
was
was so
a
many.
good line.
There were so many
Okay.
lines.
Okay.
It was a great
Okay.
one-liner.
Okay.
Yeah, I would give you that.
He had some good.
Yeah.
Well, if I mean,
The writing was.
we're gonna talk about Black Panther today.
Let's get it.
Oh
Let's
my
get it.
goodness. Okay, so wonderful movie.
Yes.
Wonderful movie. Wonderful representation of us. I
Definitely.
think.
Definitely.
Wonderful eye candy for men and for women.
I agree.
Yeah, because you know that. I usually don't do the bald head thing, but that thing was
Oh no,
sexy.
I love
I'm
that.
trying to tell
I
you.
love that before the movie started.
What?
Yeah.
It was you. They
yeah,
were
I love that.
beautiful. But what
Yeah.
I really liked about it was the confidence.
Well,
that
that's
you
what I
saw.
was gonna say.
Mm.
It's
With
not
them
just the
rocking
bald
it.
head. It's the
It
bald
was
head with
the- it was-
confidence.
Yeah.
It's
It
a lot
was
of hair
like,
with confidence.
oh,
It
was
yes,
wonderful.
The confidence.
It was wonderful.
Walking your sex.
Oh my goodness.
Hey.
It was so wonderful. So
Grace.
I know.
But you know what? There were so many deeper layers. Because
Yeah.
even when she said
Really?
that, I thought that we talked about the social aspect of how women
How-
wear,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, certain
Right.
how they wear
Exactly.
their hair, how they carry themselves.
Exactly.
And she didn't feel comfortable in that. So
Right.
she took it off.
And the fact that she had the confidence to say, instead of just being uncomfortable. Because
Right.
sometimes we do stuff,
Right.
men and women,
Right.
that we are uncomfortable, but just so we with the status quo.
Right. Right.
So that was one of the things that I really loved about this movie was these women were very comfortable, confident, powerful.
Right.
And if they didn't like something, you knew it, and it was like, nah, we ain't
Right.
doing it.
Right.
And I love that they were warriors.
Oh man, when my boy was like some Grace Jones looking chicks at the door.
I love that.
He was
Yeah.
like,
They're not gonna
I
try
ain't gonna knock again.
They're not. Again. Just
Next
that.
time this door coming down.
Right.
It was wonderful, and I liked the fact that how supportive the women were, and how the men let them.
Right.
So
Another
it wasn't-
underlying thing.
Right. It wasn't like
Yes.
this power struggle.
Yes. Yes.
No, I'm the man, and you.
Right.
I'm gonna fight for you. I'm
Right.
gonna have your back,
Right.
and you gonna let me.
Well, see, I think that's the piece where everybody had their spot. The women knew their spot, and they took ownership of it, knowing that it was a joint thing, not a
Right.
you're superior, I'm inferior. No, we're working together in
Every-
unison to
Was that
create
not
this
beautiful?
beautiful
Yeah.
paradise.
Yeah.
You know, not just in place, but in spirit. Awesome.
It was wonderful the way
Awesome.
the unity of it all, the
Right.
way they worked together. I loved it. Loved it.
Was
What?
this one issue that I had
Okay.
when they were all in battle against each other, and he said, "You killed me."
Yes.
He was like, "Out for Wakanda." Yes, or whatever he
Right.
said.
Right.
But my issue was, you was just about to hurt her.
He was.
He was. I'm like,
No, but I don't think he would have hurt her just like the animal didn't hurt her. I think he was in battle because he was in battle, and I think he would hurt everybody else, knowing that she needed to give up. So I don't think he would have hurt her, but I know
He
she
would've
would
wanted her to
have.
surrender.
Right,
He
he
was-
would have wanted her
yeah.
to surrender.
Yeah. But I don't think. He
And I think that was the difference between him and
But
the other
not,
warrior.
I believe she would have hurt him.
Oh yeah, for
yeah,
sure,
she
for
like,
sure. Hello.
All right.
And bold.
Oh,
and strong.
really?
But that, you know what? I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Because she
Yeah.
was in her own skin. Again, another underlying statement of the movie.
Okay.
You know,
okay. But
It's a
that was
battle.
a little stereotypical though.
I'm just playing.
Nah, I love it.
I'm saying we own it.
We own it.
We own it.
And I think that's the piece of all of this is own who you are, love who you are, create more, develop more. You know, again, everybody's a fantasy movie, yes, but the fantasy can become reality. So some of the underlying, we could talk about some of the big things on the screen, but I want to go deeper because they have so many deep layers.
It was a lot.
You got
and they did it well.
Very well.
What I liked was none of the women were berated.
Right.
Even when the guy killed his whatever she was to him.
Right.
He didn't, you know, it was just like, boom, you out.
Right.
It wasn't a beat up. It wasn't, you know, you ain't nothing. Right. It was just like, okay, you done. You ain't part of the plan no more.
She knew she had to sacrifice. I think even then she knew she was gonna die.
Mm. Really?
Yeah, because she was ride or die for him. She was ride or die for him.
Okay, I get the ride or die, but
when he was there, she
you
was
gonna
like,
kill me?
He knew it. She knew it. She knew that he was going to kill her.
I'm gonna have to go back.
How many times you watched it?
I only seen it once.
Okay. How many times?
Twice.
Okay, I saw it 3 times.
Oh my god!
And all 3 times, and I can see it again because, like I
said,
there's so many deeper layers, and you have to watch it. Not more of the soft stuff, but the deeper underlying stuff that we probably missed because we were so hyped. You know, I went in there with a group of kids, and that was an amazing experience.
I bet it was.
To see them excited, joyful from the beginning of the movie to the end. I mean, they were clapping and screaming and yelling and enjoying, you know, just being in the building. So, you know, it's one of those experiences you just can't do it once and think I got it.
I mean, just a child to see somebody that looked just like them.
Right.
On the screen.
Right.
I mean, skin tones,
right.
all different skin tones.
Right.
All different shades of black.
Right.
And being just extremely powerful.
Right.
Even the villain was not nasty.
Nah. I thought he played the role he needed to play in order for the movie to be what the movie was. If he wasn't the killer, I mean, he was literally killing. And if he was like soft and I'm not doing you my brother, I can't.
But that's how Black Panther was.
That's how he was, which made the movie to me so impactful. Because that was one of the things we talked about in the movie was why did Black Panther not kill off Killmonger in the beginning? He could have killed them when they fought the first time. He had the power to. He's the Black Panther. I mean, he's beating everybody. So why didn't he do that? Because of that reason. He gave him sympathy. I know who you are. I know your family. So I'm going to give you a chance to yield. I'm not going to kill you. And part of Black Panther's themes going deeper into the comics, he doesn't kill until he has to kill, which is why he died. Oh, I almost died. Right. And
which is another deeper layer. To me, I was like, maybe somebody else has said this. Not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But it was
you
like
good.
Killmonger, Malcolm X.
Right?
Black Panther.
MLK.
Mark.
Oh, wow. Right.
Peace.
Right.
Against, I'm not going to say Malcolm X was violent, but we not turning the other cheek.
Right.
Right. Again, that was a part of the movie, too.
And it was
because
well
a
done.
brother who died.
It was well done.
The first king, you know, he killed his brother over that same issue. The brother wanted to help the people and give the people the resources to fight for themselves, to do for themselves, to, you know, to defend themselves.
Which was another good theme was that in the fact that we all want to get to the same place.
Right.
But everybody has a different idea of how to do that. And that was another thing that I thought they did very well.
Right.
You know, he wanted to help the people.
Right.
But he went about it in a way that maybe they would not have in Wakanda.
Right.
So, you know, and again, you talk about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. We all want the same thing.
Right.
But for whatever reason, we can't meet on the road to get there.
Right. I think that's, to me, the underlying issue at the end. I've heard this before in the movie, too. Like, nah, they should keep everything for Wakanda. they don't need to share everything with the rest of the world. We should keep it. I think part of getting to that next spot is, what do we do next? You know, how do we bring that road together or find a way to merge those roads so that we can get to the same destiny without having too many?
I think it just comes from just strong leaders. But strong leaders in the fact that unless we actually try to come together with one mind. Because if I'm Malcolm X, I'm a strong leader.
Right.
And I believe what I believe.
Right.
I'm Martin Luther King. I'm a strong leader.
Right.
I believe what I believe.
Right. The thing that I think that brings or joins that is the people behind it, which is another part of the movie. The main characters are awesome, but these other side characters, they really developed the movie. Because Black Panther was on the same idea of, no, we're not sharing this. We're going to keep our borders safe. We're going to keep our information, and we're going to do what we've normally done. But his girlfriend, a critical role.
Right.
Very big roles. Yes.
Stuff. That is true.
And I think that's what has to happen in our community. You know, the leaders, you need to listen to that person who's going to say, hey, you know, I know you're strong hoe and this is the way, but we can do it better, which is what she said. You know, we can do it better. We can make it better. We can open our borders. We can share our resources and still be who we are.
I think there is a little bit of fear because you don't want to lose what you have.
Right.
And when you let people in, they may change the dynamic of it.
Right.
Or they may come and try to destroy it. Like, if you find out we got all of this,
right,
then you coming to take it. Not to be a part of it. Right. Well. Because, you know, Columbus discovered America. Like, it wasn't people here already.
Right.
So.
But, you know, that's the thing. You have to know who you are and don't become who they are, nice. Which is what he was actually doing. He was Killmonger. He was literally becoming a colonizer without even knowing that that's what he was becoming. Knowing who you are makes the difference. Knowing your strength. Man.
I don't know.
He knew he was Wakanda. He knew he was from Wakanda, but he didn't know Wakanda. He understood, I'm from this great country with all these resources and everything, but what do I really know? And that's where he had to conflict when he became king.
He knew what his experience was.
Which is very limited.
What he knew was what Wakanda had to help better his experience, to help better the experiences of the people up under him.
Right. But it's how you do it.
So I don't know if he was trying to colonize or be.
Yes, he was. No. That's what he was doing.
We gonna take these weapons, make sure these weapons get to that country, this place, and that place.
Yes. And that's why my issue with the MLK was a little different. Because his mindset changed. And Malcolm X said, no, we could do it that way by force. But now let's do it a different way. Where, you know, we want ours, but at the same time, I could have yours. So he wanted to take over, like literally, and we gonna run the show. That's why he had to die.
It was to get the people out of oppression.
Yeah, but and it's the same thing that the colonizers did.
No, the colonizers was oppressing people.
But they were oppressing because where they came from, they were the oppressed. So they left. Yes. Think about it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Religion,
right. The Boston Tea Party was the biggest reason of that. Like, hey, we're gonna throw this tea away because we're not paying these taxes to the king. No, we want our tea, and we're gonna pay for the price we want it.
Y'all want cake?
Yes.
Well, that sure
it look good. It look like it's from Wakanda.
That's that Wakanda cake,
right?
Yeah, it might not be. I don't know.
Hey. Yeah. Which is funny too. Everything is Wakanda. Everybody's from like wherever you go.
Right. Okay, I need to get
underlying issue.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get a napkin. Pick that back.
Awesome.
1 second.
Awesome. What did you think of the technology?
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B. Work with what you got. Or C. Show solidarity.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
All right, guys, take us with that.
Lovely.
All right,
Lovely.
so here is, what was you talking about? Technology.
The technology. I thought
Wasn't
that
it wonderful?
it was, and to me that was another underlying lesson how we need to be more tech savvy in our community, and how we can take that information and build upon our
Which is
resources.
what they did towards the end.
Yes. What are your resources?
Right.
JT was telling me a favorite line at the end of the movie.
Oh, what can a country of farmers
Right.
teach the rest of the
Oh,
world?
Right.
my goodness.
Right.
Man, I was like,
And
well,
then-
we taught y'all everything. Like, we taught y'all everything.
Right. And see, that was a thing. Like,
And then that wonderful smile was like,
yeah, exactly.
if you only knew.
What, you wouldn't even be here.
Right.
Exactly.
But the other piece is how much more we can do. I was thinking of Cuba coming with the cure for lung cancer, or at least starting the cure for lung cancer. The world, who would think it would come from Cuba, out of all places?
Wow.
And Black Panther was just another good example of that. Like, we try to discount these other countries when their resources are just as great, their minds is just as
Not
great.
just countries, but people.
Yes. We heard what the last
'Cause it was-
president said
Right.
about some of these countries, and these are the same countries that
Yeah.
can do and provide so much more resources.
Yeah.
You know.
I like that the girls were involved in STEM.
Yes, yes.
That was wonderful. She
Yes.
was like the guru
Oh,
of,
she was
of
the technology. Yes,
You know, I was
yes.
like, oh my God, that's so beautiful.
A new
Again.
princess.
Yes. We saw that.
Right.
New princess.
Again, empowering, you know,
Right.
the social aspect of, oh, why y'all watching this movie? Why y'all giving all this money to this movie? Well, you were giving this money to other movies, number one. But two, the empowerment and the process after the movie. Like, how many, you know, students will go back and say, hey, I want to do science now. I want to do math now. Or, you know what, I want to be, you know, king. Which means I want to be president, governor,
Right.
senator.
Because I saw it.
Because I saw
saw
it. You know, I can be a leader too.
And, you know, just to touch on something else we talked about one time before. Okay, was this not like the perfect mix of art and entertainment?
Oh, yes. Perfect.
Perfect
The
mix.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
The soundtrack alone. But see, this is what we're talking about. When you have people who love and are passionate about what they do, and they really tune in, I could understand the songs. You can hear the African beats in the back that people don't really talk about. You know, just that sound. That album alone stands by itself. It was just that
just-
good.
it
If you
was
haven't heard the
just
album,
beautiful.
full album,
Shout out to Kendrick
Beautiful.
Lamar.
again, going back to that art and entertainment.
Right.
Are
It
you
was
just an
wonderful.
artist?
It
Are you
was
an entertainer?
wonderful. They put all of this together, and it
Pull
was
it.
just a wonderful mix.
Yes.
But here is another.
They didn't have no trap music.
Nah, man,
Hello.
we ain't going with that.
But that's another
That's
conversation.
a whole nother conversation. Here's one more thing I was thinking about with this movie was African born bred versus African American.
Deep.
I thought that was done well in this movie. Like,
So what's your
they
take?
are not us. If you know, I think that was the separation.
Right.
When the brother came to see the brother that
Right,
he killed.
right.
It was like, you here, but they not us.
Right.
It was
right.
like a us and them,
Very much so.
even though
Very much
we
so.
all came from like that
The
same dirt.
which is what he said. I mean,
That
aren't you
same
not our
dirt.
people? Aren't
Right.
you not?
Yeah,
And
too.
again, I thought in that same vein, the movie brought an issue of how can you have all these resources and not help
Your people.
your people?
But they did not feel like they were our people.
And I felt it's the same way going back in the real world, where you look at African Americans versus any other country. It's not just not Africa. You're looking at the Caribbean. You know, we have the resources, we have the skills. Are we sharing those resources and skills to help them overcome what they need to overcome? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't feel like we're united in that. I don't feel like I've never been to Africa, so I can't, say how they would treat me over there.
I have a very close friend who just came from a trip, and she felt that on the first 2 days. She felt a little isolated, but she said, France, they brought me in so fast, like this is my sister. They were having parties. Wonderful. I mean, she said her house became the social house. Wonderful. When at first it was like, oh, you African American, you don't understand. Mm-hmm. But once they put that music on and she started doing her twerk, hey, everybody was like, oh, you African, you African. And I think that's what it is getting past the barrier.
But that was her experience. Okay. So the one of the psychology professors that I work with, he takes trips to Africa. He said they see him as a white man. He is black. You could tell he is black.
Right.
But you are not African.
Wow.
That is how they treat him.
And I think that's where the connection comes in too. How do we... Watching the movie, I thought about Haiti. And I read an article on that, how it was not Africa that's Wakanda. Actually, Wakanda was in Haiti, which I was like, oh, this is going to be a good read. Coming from Haiti myself. But really having those resources available and knowing that other people have come to the island, stripped the resources.
Oh, man.
And then, the people are left there like, hey, you coming back, but are you really for us?
Or you just coming back to get the vibranium. Is
right.
it
Vibranium. But thinking how the island has, how the origin of the island, the origin of Haiti, how they won their freedom and didn't just keep it to themselves. They said, we want everybody to be free. Started giving money to other countries, Venezuela. You can't be, if you black, you cannot go anywhere in the world and not say, thank you, Haiti. Because they gave their resources to help you be free. Thinking about the movie, you have the resources, you have the vibranium, you have the technology. What are you giving to help others to be free?
So it's going to take the new generation? Because the older generation, when he talked to his dad in the in the spirit
That's
or whatever,
correct.
It was like we got to protect, like this is mine.
That's correct.
And we have to make sure that nobody comes in and steals
That's
it. Nobody
correct.
comes in and
That's
messes
correct.
it up. Nobody. But then
You limit yourself.
you do, but you protecting. So you think you're right. Honestly,
I
you
agree
feel
with
like
what they
you're
were
right.
saying. I
and
agree
so
with what they're
he
saying.
felt like,
But imagine,
he felt like he was right in some ways.
Imagine Haiti becomes free, but they keep it to themselves.
Then everybody got to go in and try to take.
And they have. They've tried several times. France has come, but they kept fighting back. But will everybody else be free? And that's the mentality of where we need to be at. After watching the movie, one of my professors posted something on social media. He said, what are we going to do after? Now the celebration is done, the hey aunties and the good times. Now that you have been empowered with the message, what do you do with it?
Yeah.
You have the resources. You've gone through some education
Yeah.
or have some type of way to help free somebody mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. How can we empower people in the real world after the movie?
Right.
Which to me is the...
No, I'm just going to say it's still going to take some changing of the minds because you still have people that still think a certain way.
I agree.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
So.
I don't understand what you're saying. What are you saying?
He talking about the Uncle Ruckus. Uncle Ruckus. The Uncle Ruckus who they say they for you, but they're not really fighting for you. It's like we here, but we not here. And I think that's another issue that we have to overcome.
It is. It was just so wild to see.
Mindset.
To see all of this African American, all of this black on screen, and it was still us. Why y'all gotta be all?
Oh my
and
God.
why y'all? Look at these people all dressed up in the. Why they gotta do all of that?
Let us celebrate us.
But no, but what I'm saying is, and even I don't know if we touched on this, but what I'm saying is, it was even us saying
that is true. That's what I'm talking about. Uncle Ruckuses. Uncle Ruckuses who telling us
about the.
So we couldn't even come together on the fact that this was like a really good experience.
We are not seeing ourselves on this screen as slaves, coons, prisoners, and anything else. We're kings and queens, and you got other people on social media, black people talking about, oh, they going too far with this Black Panther stuff, man. I'm just so sick of seeing people dressed up. And
the dressing got me because, my church, we do African American, Sunday. Sometimes it's every month, one Sunday out of the month. Everybody.
Oh, y'all do every Sunday? Because
one
we
Sunday out of the month, like the
February.
fourth Sunday, you got something, a tie or something. The ushers, they have their African attire. This is what we wear regularly. This is not a costume. Now, when I went to see Star Wars, these people were dressing like
were they not?
Chewbacca's. Now, to me, that is dressing up. But what I wore was something that people wear every day.
Right.
So it to me was not a costume. It's again honoring the heritage, honoring where you're from, and remembering that, and remembering your power.
But I just thought it was so odd that even for just Black Panther.
Yeah. The movie addressed it. The movie addressed it. There was infighting. There was infighting within the movie. And you know what? That to me is a great part of why this movie was great. Because they addressed the issues. There's always going to be that infighting. The question is, what are we going to do after it?
How do we get rid of that?
You don't. You fight it. And when we don't fight it, we lose. Which is why I was so happy when Black Panther went back to the motherland. And his father said, yep, it's time for you to come and join us. He said, no, I got to go back. Because this is a fight.
I got to fix what you messed up.
Yes, this is a fight that we must fight. And for us as a culture, this is a fight that we must fight. The Uncle Ruckuses, the colonizers, whatever you want to call them. In, out, black, white, purple. You have to fight the fight if you want to.
And he was a part of the new generation. Because had he still been in his father's time, that wouldn't have happened.
Well, that and
so
he had
we are the new generation that needs to try to, take that
inroads
change. And
the power is in you.
Yeah.
You have the power.
Exactly.
We have the power to make it, which is, again, watching the movie with the kids. Like, I had a good time the first 2 times, but with the kids, to see the
How did they feel about it?
They were screaming, yelling, clapping, cheering. You could hear them talking in the background like, I even like going in like, this is me. Just hearing them and just the celebration. I mean, even the love scenes, although there were not that many, was such a powerful piece.
Right. Wait a minute, I got to go back and see it again.
At the end of the movie,
when he kissed his girl?
He kissed his girl.
No, he said love scenes like there was more than one.
Well, there was a couple. I think that was one, and to me, that was my favorite one because.
So it wasn't really a love scene; it was just
an embrace,
right?
Which is, I think, is important for us to share,
right? And
as a black culture.
Which I did like,
right?
That it wasn't
it wasn't too deep,
right?
Right.
Right.
We ain't trying to take no clothes off.
Right.
And, we ain't no Marvin Gaye coming on,
right.
Getting it on or whatever.
Right.
But it was tastefully done. But knowing that he was willing, because his girl was ready to lay down her life for him. He said, I gotta give you the praise. Because of you, not just because you were fighting with me, but because you helped open my mind.
Right.
To see this world.
Appreciating her being supported.
Yes. That's why I always say Black Queen.
I loved it. Okay, I have to go see Black Panther again.
Yes.
I must go again. I have to find the time to
I'm
go
about to catch it on bootleg next time.
You know what?
I don't already paid to go see it
You
twice.
better not.
No
bootleg.
3 times.
Shout out to the bootleg man.
No.
I need that new Black Panther.
Listen, it's not official until it's a bootleg.
Got to get it.
It's not official. It's just our culture. It's not official.
Okay, Black Panther, 10,000 thumbs up.
Yes.
All right. So y'all gonna come back Wakanda
forever. We didn't even eat the cake. That's how good this thing was.
So,
ain't even in the room.
y'all coming back again?
We'll be back.
All right. Thank y'all for coming.
Yeah.
Kitchen Talk.
I told you, as long as you got some food and some cake going on. Yeah.
Right.